at a UWE show, I went in this match as a tweener.
Right.
Came out a massive babyface. Purely because I won the title and the biggest heel in the match attacked me. But that is not something that I'm used to, because I'm used to playing heel. I'm not used to the crowd cheering me. So it was quite overwhelming, actually. And the fact that I won the title was quite overwhelming as well, because I wasn't expecting to go over until Brian told me that night. Because he told me a completely different story a few weeks back. And then he was like, read this. You're going over. Okay.
Wow, that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. Like, I think playing that, I had like a taste of it earlier in the year. People on this podcast will know that I wasn't a massive Simon Miller fan, and let's just say, in his match, I interrupted it, and I took him out, and he lost. But when I come back through after, and obviously, like, because I came out as just a normal bloke that does interviews, that's me. But it's fascinating because that's a nobody, and nobody really cares. Nobody cares for me there. But then when I did that, they certainly did care. And you know what hit me the most was little kids getting upset. And I thought, blimey, this is quite hard to do. But I when I was there, I was in the moment and it was fun. But when I got back after and I thought about it, I kind of felt bad. But I think you really do have to have like either real commitment to it. To do it 24/7 in this day and age, I've got to say, is very, very hard. I think there's very few people that I think either want to be as committed as that, because they just don't want to be. Nobody wants to have all that negative on social media and all that lark. And how some people get, some fans get, they kind of, if they really buy into what you're doing, that's it. They want to find out where you work. And stand out there with a picket list and, doing all those. There's very few people that do. One of the guys who I do a lot of traveling with is Paul Robinson. And that guy, I mean, he is himself pretty much all the time. I've never seen anything like it. Trying to get out after a show, running around the corners. It's crazy. But that's just him. And I think if that's kind of you and it's ramped up at a 10, I think it's more easier.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's funny because back in the day, like, heels just would never sell merchandise either. That was just not something you wouldn't have fans wearing tops of heels. That just wasn't a thing. Whereas kind of now it is. In terms of that, like, one of the big things that I always becomes fascinating debate with female wrestlers up against male wrestlers, especially on, I guess, the independent, is that female wrestlers have a better opportunity of selling merchandise at stalls. Is that fair to say, or do you think that's a load of nonsense?
In a way, if they're a known female wrestler, then yes. It all depends on if the crowd know them well enough.
Right.
So if they're a regular, then it will probably, it'll be more the babyface that sells it, unless they're a very loved heel. Yeah. Like, I sell quite a bit of merch. I was at a wrestling show in Southampton.
Right.
It was my debut there, and I sold 4 T-shirts. And I'd only been there once.
Yeah.
I was messaging my dad about it after the show. I was messaging my dad while I was upstairs, backstage, and I could see him at the stall because it was sort of like a balcony sort of thing. I was messaging him. He said, "You sold like 4 T-shirts," and I looked at him and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I messaged him saying, "What?" And he went, "Yeah, you sold 4 T-shirts," and I was like, "How?" I must have been really good at what I was doing. They bought T-shirts. Like, I ran out that day.
Yeah.
I only had a few left and I'd run out. I was quite shocked.
Yeah.
But it's more online now these days. A lot of people just buy stuff online rather than, because obviously not a lot of people can get to the shows that you're at. And if they do, they don't particularly buy merch. They buy other people's merch and stuff like that. But I'm not that fussed if people don't buy my merch. It's there if they want to buy it. But if they come up to me and I'm there, it's like, "You want this? Okay, here you go." And then, but a lot of people do buy stuff online these days.
Yeah, it's true. Different habits today,
Yeah.
and especially today, in doing things like that. But
Yeah.
it's become the norm, I think. I mean, merchandise in UK wrestling wasn't. I mean, I don't think there was much going on way back in the FWA. If I'm honest with you, it'd be very rare that you'd find that, and I guess it was a small. But now, I mean, it's part of it. I kind of like. That's one of the cool things about going to shows, and I always recommend people, especially like with kids and that, is that it's a little bit closer. But not only that, the kind of interactions you can have with the performers is just so much better. And I enjoy seeing that because it's, for me, it's difficult, but I know still there are kids and even certain individuals that really buy into the magic still. And it's still nice to have that around. And I think if I was a kid and I had all these indie shows around me, I'd have been so happy to just go and meet one of the people I've just seen in the ring. And being character and well. Obviously, like you mentioned that you do watch AEW. Did you watch WrestleMania from this year in front of the spectacle of no crowd?
I caught the highlights of it.
Right.
The only match that I watched fully was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Kabuki Warriors, because I am a massive Alexa Bliss fan.
Yeah.
And I was quite happy. That made my night that she won. Yeah. But I caught the highlights. The results were good. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't disappointed with anything, to be honest. I was happy that Drew McIntyre won.
Yep.
I was happy that Becky retained. I wouldn't have minded it going either way, to be honest. It was better than last year's results, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, seems like a long time ago now. So I was just trying to think of everything. No, I kept saying this to people. Obviously, the thing that's come out of it that's got high praise was the whole gimmicked Boneyard match.
Yeah,
like,
that was.
Everybody
I saw the highlights of that. That was quite funny, actually.
And then the Firefly Funhouse. But I mean, whether you call that a match, I don't really know. It was just, for me, it was like, an amazing promo, a very creative promo at that. It was very well done because there's loads of little layers and hidden things if you watch closely that are there, which is nice. And I think if you're a long time WWE fan, most of the times, if you are a long-term fan, you don't get rewarded much. They just don't do those kind of payoffs. But I felt that was one of the few times where I was like, oh, I got that, and there's a lot of nostalgia in it. And it was, I mean, I'm very old school, so these kind of things to me, I'm not massive on it. Yeah. But I thought it was I think if someone like the Undertaker, for instance, I know everybody harps on about having Sting and Undertaker every year. I'd much rather see it like a Boneyard match than I would in a Saudi Arabia show. Personally, because I think both guys at the stage they're at, they wouldn't have to go full throttle. They could, because it's recorded, you can kind of take your time with it and make it look like amazing. Yeah. But because they got such great characters, you don't need to break your back anymore in a ring, So I think if they were ever going to do that, that's a good opportunity to have it in a style like that. But I got to give praise to AJ Styles a lot in that match. I thought he was excellent, and it's so crazy to see how good of a heel he is, because I remember in TNA everyone was saying he'll never be a good heel. He could never be a heel, that guy. But yeah, he's just like running with it. He's so well adapted to WWE. I never thought he'd be as successful as he's been in WWE. Yeah. Just because of everything else. But he's taken to it really well. So in terms of that, like, are you a Charlotte Flair fan?
No.
No, you're on the other side of things with that. See, I always ask people again, they really hate her or they really like her. It's one or the other. I
haven't necessarily got a problem with her. She's great at what she does. I'll give her that. I'm just not exactly praising her for every single match she has.
Right.
But like, I do understand that people like her. I get why they like her because she's good at what she does, regardless of what people say. So, but I'm just I'm more of I'll be against her in every match she has. Yeah. Unless it's against someone that I don't particularly enjoy watching. I started disliking her when she beat Becky,
Mm-hmm.
and that for the title. So I was like, okay, I prefer Becky. I
Mm-hmm.
like Becky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's your go. Now, in terms of like where you've been working around the UK, have you like managed to get out there, or have you just stuck in very sort of certain promotions thus far, and you know, territorial wise?
I have got quite a few bookings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm traveling all across the UK. Like every one of my bookings is
Mm-hmm.
usually between an hour and 2.5 hours drive.
Wow, that's quite a way.
Unless it's WAW where I train, then I have to wake up at like 5 a.m. out the door by 6 to get there by 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a trek.
Yeah, wow.
But that is definitely one of my favourite journeys, is travelling down to WAW to work with the Knight family.
Yeah.
That opportunity came just out of nowhere. It's actually a really interesting story, and not a lot of people know it because I never really tell it.
Right.
But my dad is, he used to work with the Knight family.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he will take me up there to meet them, because I absolutely love Sarah. Absolutely adore her. And I'd love to have a match with her. I turned around and said, I want to have a match with her.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of my dream matches, is to have a match with Sweet Saraya.
Yeah.
So when I took me up there, he introduced me to them. I went all gooey, of course, over Saraya. And I was like, just did their training and stuff like that for the day. And one of the in the beginners bit, they were cutting a promo.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know anybody here, so I didn't know what to say. So I just cut a promo if I was debuting. And Ricky came to me and said, that was great. Can you film that for us? It's going on social media. I'm like, okay. So I got, obviously, they hadn't seen me in the ring. They just went off what they heard. So I was like, in my head, I was like, right, I need to like prove myself now. I need to prove
pressure's
that
on.
I have the whole package. And when I went to training the second time around, they Saraya pulled me aside and she said that she'd got a few videos of me messing something up.
Right.
I am all for admitting mistakes. In a match, in one of my last matches with a company, I screwed up bad, and I took my part of the blame, and it's been haunting me ever since. It's getting me a lot of heat, a lot of hate, and people are judging me for that one or two mess up. People had sent her that video, and she'd said that she wasn't like gonna like penalise me for it. I was absolutely beside myself about it. So she said she's just gonna take me under her wing, get rid of all that bad stuff, and help me. But they'd both said to my dad that they don't see anything dangerous about me, because that was just that one slip up that I took. You know, I took responsibility for. You know, so, and I've had 3 matches now with them, I think, or is it 2?
Right.
I think it's 2, because I was in a battle royal.
Yep.
And then I had a triple threat match. So I can't wait to go back there, to be honest. It feels weird not being up there. But I've met so many people up there. Like all the girls up there, they're absolutely amazing. Everyone in the Bellatrix is absolutely amazing. Everyone on the
they're a good bunch.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They are. They're very like, once you're there, you're sort of there. You're part of their little bond now.
Yeah.
So I've got a family within the Bellatrix now.
The godfather and godmother of wrestling.
Yes, definitely.
Those two.
I praise both of them so much. I absolutely I love what they do. Both Saraya and Ricky. They are both they are both so nice to me. They accepted me for just who I am at that point. It was like they let me in. Is what I thank them for. Is for giving me the opportunity. Like I think I said it to them, but like I don't know if I did properly. But all I can do is thank them. Like going to train up there has probably been the best thing that's happened to me in these past 3 years.
Yeah, so
like winning titles, nah. Getting opportunities, nah. Going to train